Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Second Stage is presenting the world premiere of the new musical Dogfight, which is based on the critically acclaimed film. It features choreography by Tony Award winner Christopher Gattelli and is directed by two-time Tony Award winner Joe Mantello. And I'm here on opening night to celebrate with the company.
Goodbye to chili fries, to apple pies and Dinah Shore. So long to Waffle Cove, New Twilight Zones and Leslie Gore. Farewell to Chevrolets, to Willie Mays, the corner store. Hats off to you, red, white, and blue. So raise your cup and live it up. And live it up. A wild ride on my last night stateside.
It's opening night, New York. How do you feel?
I am over the moon, I am nervous, I am tense, and I'm elated. I'm a lot of things right now. It's been a long journey. You know, we discovered the movie in 2008, and we started to work on it around then, so it's been almost 4 years of actually working on the show and committing to it, so it's amazing to be here with everybody and to have the experience of seeing it on the stage. It's overwhelming. It's wonderful.
It is a perfect collaboration. Talk about collaborating with them.
Well, you know, I grew up with Justin of Justin and Benj, and as soon as I met Benj, we became fast friends. So it's actually been very easy in terms of the interpersonal has been great. So it really is a matter of, you know, what's on the page, what do we want to lift off the page, and how do we work with each other to coax it out of each other. So it's been great, and having Joe Mantello on board to say to us, this works, this doesn't, I need more there, there's something missing here. That's been amazing. To have his incisive eye has been great.
So when did Joe enter the project?
A little over a year ago. Joe came, we staged a reading just for him to see it and to climb on board. And then we did a workshop in December that he was intimately involved in. And, you know, between August when we met him and now, I guess less than a year, between August when we met him and now, it's been, you know, 4 times a week on the phone, in the email, meeting up, you know, getting phone calls at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. and really working together to hone it and, you know, see what you get on that stage.
So what is it like for you to sit as an audience member and the book writer at Second Stage? Tell me about that.
It's hard to distinguish the two. It's very hard to separate. I think when you watch the same thing over and over and over again, you know, 15 times in 2 weeks, I've never seen a show that many times, certainly nothing I've written. So it crosses over from being proud and excited to going, wait a minute, that doesn't work. And then you have to think, this actually does work. You know, we're being told by our producers and, you know, our director that this works, but when you see it over and over again, your instinct is to fix it, to mess with it. So it's been really good to have eyes in the room, you know, Joe Mantello, Chris Gattelli, Carol Rothman, people we respect and we trust to say, don't mess with that or mess with that.
I like that.
So it's been, you know, it's all about trusting people. I'm a newcomer at this. This is, you know, Justin and Benj have 2 other musicals they've written, but when we started this, the 3 of us, it was our first show that we've written, and it's my first musical to premiere it in New York. It's huge for me, and it feels really, really great.
Opening night in New York, how do you guys feel?
We're freaking out! We're freaking out.
Yeah, we're completely overwhelmed and so grateful for this opportunity. This is our first show in New York. This is the first musical we ever started working on back in 2008 or 2009. We had just gotten out of college. And we're a few more years out of college now, but we're just so grateful to Second Stage and this incredible cast and company. Joe Mantello, Chris Gattelli, our whole creative team has come together and created a piece that we're so happy and thrilled with.
Yeah, and there's so many people at this party that we're geeking out over.
Yeah, we're freaking out.
That's pretty exciting too.
No, but to do your first musical with the Dream Team, Joe Mantello, Christopher Gattelli, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
It's crazy. I mean, where are we going to go from here? Just like, you know, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, no, this has been completely our grad school. These are people that we have been admiring. Like, you know, in college when you learn about like Broadway and theater, it's like the great Joe Mantello and the great Chris Gattelli. And now we're sitting across from the room
we're
from
like,
them
what's
being
up,
like,
Joe?
yes sir, yes sir,
hey
yes,
Chris,
sir. Hey, what should we do? You know what I mean? It's a dream come true, and it's so much more than we could have ever imagined for this show.
You were originally going to write some like funky version of High School Musical, right?
Oh, it was terrible. We were gonna write basically like the most unoriginal idea ever. Basically like High School Musical 35. It could have been set in like Scottsdale,
we were like, we're
Arizona.
gonna sell out. We can't make any money doing theater. Like, let's just go for Hollywood. Like, let's sell out. Let's go crazy. And then our collaborator Peter, who wrote the book, brought in this idea of Dogfight to
And
us.
he was like, "How about you actually write a real musical?" And we were like, okay, we'll try it." And then we began working on Dogfight, and it has been the most amazing experience working on the show. And we're so happy that no one knows the kids from Scottsdale, Arizona in High School Musical 35.
It's embarrassing.
So I ask composers this all the time. What was the first song you wrote for the show, and what was the last song you wrote for the show? Do you remember?
The first song that we wrote for the show is the end of Act 1, Pretty Funny. And when she comes home and she sees all of her dresses scattered around her room, and
We watched the movie, and we knew before we had even started the book or the outline immediately. We saw that moment, and we thought that can be a musical moment.
because it could really get inside the character's head, and it was such an emotional high point for her to be able to
And
musicalize
the last song
that.
we wrote was, I think.
come back.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Last song we wrote was a song called "Hey Good Lookin'," which is when the Marines are all looking for their dates, and that was because we wrote about 35 versions of other songs that
And
Joe
every
Mantello
time Joe
were
would be like,
terrible.
terrible,
He'd be like,
terrible,
no,
draft 5,
no,
terrible,
no,
draft
terrible,
8,
terrible,
terrible.
So we kept writing and writing, and finally we brought it in. He's like,
Not-
I like that.
not terrible.
I
And we
like
were
that.
like,
We're like,
"Alright."
thank God.
We're done.
Yeah.
Okay, so sitting in the house tonight at second stage, put into words what it meant to you and how it felt.
Well, the truth is, and I probably shouldn't say this on camera, I sat in the house for Act 1, and then I just got so overwhelmed that we all went upstairs during Act 2, and we just sat at a table, and we just drank wine, and we were freaking out in the...
It's like it is.
upstairs.
It's like almost too much of a feeling because I mean, it feels amazing to have our family there and all these amazing theater luminaries there. But it's also so nerve-wracking for us that it's like almost too hard to watch. The only thing is that we're so proud of our cast, our amazing cast. That's what I think is most compelling to us is sitting and watching their amazing performances. We're blown away.
It's really cool because we are around the same age as a lot of the members who are in our cast, so it feels like this collective experience of us all sort of breaking through and having a first experience.
And joining together.
And joining together and being sort of a young generation of creating something together, and that has been an amazing experience.
Blank slate, blank stare. Yeah, you made her cry, why do you care? What took hold? Look at her, she looks so cold. And we go bum 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 bum. Don't know why I decided to come. Don't know why I decided to come.
It's opening night. How do you feel?
Feel wonderful. I mean, I've known Benj and Justin and Peter for years now, and I've always admired their work, and I'm so proud to be a part of this.
So what has the journey been like? Talk about working on this show.
Well, I've been involved in it since the last reading, the first one at second stage, actually, which was in January, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to be a part of it because I was doing Godspell, but it all worked out, and I'm so thrilled. It's really been amazing. I mean, Joe is a master, and you see why he is who he is when you listen to him speak about a scene when he doesn't have to be proving anything. He does, and he really has won my heart, and I would love to work with him forever. And the team sort of trickles down from there. It's always sort of set by the tone is set by the leadership, and this leadership is pretty unbelievable. And then these boys have written a beautiful show, and it's been a joy to be a part of this cast, who I also love a ton.
Talk about the role.
The role is, it's funny because when I read the script, I sort of read these things, in each show that I come to, I'm sort of like, okay, so how am I going to figure out how to bring me to this? And this role is something that when I read it immediately, I was like, oh my God, this is what I would have been like if I was in this situation in 1963. I saw my grandfather, I saw so many boys who've gone through that same transition of trying to become a man before you're ready to, and being in a position where you have no idea what's about to happen to your life, and you're trying to make sense of it. And I don't necessarily think that I would do what these boys end up doing, because they do something that's pretty cruel, but it is a reality, and it's when you're faced with the idea of killing somebody and killing many people. We talked a lot about disassociation and the idea of what a soldier does, especially a young soldier. I mean, Bernstein is only 19 when he goes away, and the idea of what you have to do and the way you have to think about humanity in order to be able to take a human life, and that's sort of how I justified the idea of treating the girls the way that we do, and it's been a really, really interesting and incredibly fulfilling role to play.
This show is so unique in a variety of ways that has made this show so challenging and special. And it was really amazing to see where it went from 3 weeks ago till tonight with such gratitude. I say that we're here, and this show is really special. It was really amazing to be part of.
What about your role? What you love about her?
Oh, Miss Marcy is a strong, fighting woman of the early 1960s. I feel like she's a pre-feminist in the way that she's fighting hard for her own rights and fighting against men by getting her own power through them. And I mean, who doesn't like playing a toothless hooker? That's all, I couldn't ask for more.
And working with Joe Mantello.
Oh, Joe Mantello is like every actor's dream. He is a superb actor himself, as we saw last season, The Normal Heart. He was so incredible that after I saw that show, I walked out and said, I don't know if I can ever work with him again because he was so brilliant to me. And every day walking in the room, he had just a glorious smile on his face, ready to dive into the work and to the text. And it's really spectacular what he's done with the piece and allowed it to grow on its own. It's been just a treat.
What's been the best part of the experience for you with leading up to tonight?
The best part of the experience leading up tonight, I believe, was seeing where the show came from the Sitz probe to today. It really fleshed out. And a couple nights ago, we came out for our curtain, and this man who had obviously been through Vietnam stood up and was clapping and saying thank you, yelling at us instead of bravo. He was saying thank you. We all get into the theater for many reasons, but one of the most important is to touch people's lives and storytell, and I feel like the show is doing that when people stand up and yell thank you.
What has it been like for you working on this?
I don't want to be sarcastic or exaggerate. It's been a dream come true in a way. I became an actor because of Joe's show Take Me Out. I saw Take Me Out when I came up here during a trip with my dad coming to New York, and I saw Take Me Out, and that's when I decided, I was like, okay, I can do this. I saw sports and theater mix, and I loved it. And I fell in love with the theater, and I fell in love with the audience, and I'd always done little things here and there in high school, but seeing that show made me want to do this for real and pursue it. So working with Joe has been a dream come true, and this show specifically, there's so many topics and so many things that it addresses that I am so thankful to be a part of, and I know that I don't play the nicest guy in the world, but I don't see him like that. I see him as a kid, as a young man that's about to go off and do something really important. So he has his priorities set, and being nice isn't always on the top of the priority to him. And it's been just so much fun, and it's just finding the layers of who this guy is, of who Ralphie Boland is, and working with this amazing cast and working with my friends, some of my best friends now, It's been a dream.
Such beautiful music and lyrics.
Yeah, Justin and Benj have written an unbelievable score, and it's just funny because, I sing one part of it, but then I hear it, every once in a while on stage I'll hear the harmonies and I'm like, man, we are singing some fun things up here, and I just get to be a part of it. And the words and the lyrics and the songs, they tell the story, and you don't find many musicals like that, where the music is actually helping the story along. And my favorite song on the whole show is Pretty Funny at the end of Act 1 that Lindsay sings, and I hear her every day do it on the monitor, and I would watch her in rehearsal, and she moves me every time. And she's so honest every time she sings it. There's not one time that she sang that song that it didn't break my heart. And I think that that's a testament to Justin and Benj. I think that that's a testament to what Joe's done on the stage, what Chris has done on the stage. And we just get to be pawns, in that process. It's been great.
It's opening night. How do you feel tonight?
We're so excited to finally, get this show open, especially being like a new show, and we've had this long, crazy preview process, so it's nice to finally get up on its feet and we can get it in our bodies now.
Well, let's talk about the preview period for a musical like this, how it helped you.
It really helped us. Getting an audience was a big deal because a lot of the audience reactions changed from night to night, and the older crowds really felt the Vietnam and the more serious side of the story, and then the younger audiences liked, of course, like Hey Good Lookin' in the show, where we're trying to pick up our dates for the dogfight, and they like the slapsticky kind of jokes. So it's been a really great learning experience, seeing these different audiences and then playing our characters accordingly. And now that we're open, we kind of have a sense of what the general audience is going to be, so we're able to form our characters accordingly.
Talk about the role, what you love about him, what attracted you to the role.
Well, when I first got the audition, I watched the movie and I instantly loved the movie. I love River Phoenix, and it's such a great story, and my character takes such a long journey through this night. I mean, the majority of the show takes place in one night, and I meet Rose at the beginning, and I'm this punk who's really shallow and just looking for a date and looking to have a good time, and then she changes me and teaches me compassion. And it's been such a great experience, especially working with Joe, who's taught us how to really use that arc. So at the end of the show, the audience is just taking a ride with us. It's been an amazing process.
Let's talk about the score.
The score is amazing. I had known about Justin and Benj, their work before I got involved with the show, and I was already a huge fan. It's just a dream. There's so many different genres, it seems like, to the show. There's a little bit of everything. There's some like big group numbers at the beginning with Hey Good Lookin', and then it goes to like smaller ballads towards the end, and there's just a little bit of everything, and a power ballad at the end of the show, and it's really been a learning experience getting to learn all this music, and it's very difficult, but we've gotten used to it, and the previews has helped us build our stamina, and it's been great. Benj and Justin are amazing, and it's a privilege to sing their material every night.
Talk about the role a little bit. What was the easiest aspect of grasping him, and what was the most challenging for you?
The easiest aspect was grasping his kind of easygoing personality, just kind of like talking his way through life. He really doesn't feel anything serious until he meets Rose. So that part was kind of just like, hey, it's a lot of fun in the opening scenes, but then as he gets faced with these other conflicts between doing what's right and what he thinks his friends will approve of, the controversy and the fine line between both sides is where it was difficult to be subtle but yet show the audience that Birdlace is struggling throughout the whole show, and it's really hard for him to make these decisions. And that I think was the hardest part for me, and Joe Mantello really helped me find my way and shape that arc throughout the show.
I just think it's so special. It touches you in every possible way a show can, and I've had the time of my life being a part of this show. It really is so special to me.
So talk about the boys who wrote it. I mean, this is such a perfect musical.
Yeah, Benj and Justin started writing the music, and Peter Duchan, our book writer, kind of came to them with the idea and loved the movie, and they all kind of hopped on board, and they're this young team of guys who, I don't know why they connect with all of these characters so much, but they clearly really do, and they've written just this gorgeous story, and I feel have really developed the movie to a really romantic, heartfelt, beautiful piece of theater that I am just out of this world happy to be a part of.
What do you love about Rose? Talk about her.
I love Rose. I feel like she is just the most beautiful, empathetic, eyes wide open, and yet so smart. I think she's the greatest human being, and I think we all see ourselves in Rose. We all hope for the good in people and hope for the best, and have all had our hopes dashed. But the great thing about her is she doesn't feel sorry for herself. She really, she turns it around, and she realizes her own self-worth. And this boy, Eddie, helps her kind of see how wonderful she is. And I don't think she sets out for that to all happen that way, but it really does. And at the end of the play, she's this beautiful woman who...
You've done the same thing for him.
Yeah, and yes, absolutely. She's done the same thing for him, and the two of them, they don't understand each other, but they are fighting to connect, and they finally do, and it's so beautiful. And I mean, I think it's the most romantic kind of beautiful love story.
Tell me about finding her and working with her with Joe Mantello, your director.
Oh my gosh, there's nobody better than Joe Mantello, and I mean, he came at it and really wanted to find this girl and find every part of her and her eccentricities and behavior and everything, and he helped me every single step of the way, and I feel like I owe this entire performance to Joe and to Derek as well, my partner in crime. And but Joe just really loves these characters and loves this time and spent so much time with us, kind of developing these scenes and really getting us to understand these people. And he's just been an absolute dream. I've learned so much from him. I've grown so much from him as an actor and also just as a person. He's a beautiful man.
Now talk about this piece around your neck.
Yes, this is a rose that Derek gave me as a gift for my opening, and I wore it tonight in the show because I showed it to Joe, and he said, you have to wear it. So I wore it during the show, and it's just the most beautiful thing. And I'm the luckiest girl in the world to be working with Derek. He is such an amazing partner, and we have such a great chemistry and teamwork out there, and I'm so proud to wear it around my neck tonight. I love it.
These eyes, they ain't gonna hurt you. So why not come to a party with me? Come on, it's just a party. A great excuse to cut it loose, Rose, and do what you feel. Hey, just for the night, no holding tight, let go. Let's go.